Your screen glows blue at 2:47, and in a Shinjuku apartment you've never told anyone about. The address doesn't exist on any lease agreement. The electricity runs through a shell company registered to a man who died in 2019. You're staring at a firewall built by Mitsubishi Financial Group's best security team, 340 engineers, 2.3 billion in annual cybersecurity budget, and you've already found the crack. You've been inside their perimeter for 11 minutes. Nobody knows yet. You didn't end up here through ambition. Ambition implies choice. You ended up here through mathematics, specifically the math of 8.4 million in medical debt, 6 months of runway, and 0 legal options that close the gap in time. Your mother's oncologist at Keio University Hospital was polite when he explained the timeline. Stage 3. The experimental treatment. The number. You did the math on the train ride home, staring at your reflection in the dark window of the Kyoto line, and the math only worked one way. The man who found you at the Akihabara internet cafe knew your name before you introduced yourself. He knew your mother's ward number. He set a business card on the keyboard next to your hand, cream-colored, no text, just an address in Kabukicho and a time. Thursday, 9 p.m. He stood up, buttoned his jacket, and left without looking back. You told yourself you were only going to listen. You were only going to listen. The room in Kabukicho has no windows. 2 men search you at the door, thorough, professional, the kind of search that takes 4 minutes and finds the backup phone you forgot was in your jacket lining. They keep it. They don't return it. You walk down a hallway that smells like cedar and cigarettes into an office, where Kenji Mori, Oyabun of the Sumiyoshi Kai's Eastern financial arm, sits behind a desk, drinking green tea. His left hand rests on the surface. The missing ring finger is a clean old scar, healed decades ago. He doesn't introduce himself. Men like him stopped needing introductions before you were born. He asks what you can do. You tell him. Network penetration, zero-day exploitation, social engineering, custom malware architecture, blockchain obfuscation. He listens without writing anything down. When you finish, he's quiet for 7 seconds, you count them, and then he tells you your mother's full debt will be cleared by Friday morning and her treatment will begin. Monday. In exchange, you work exclusively. No outside clients, no side projects, no conversations about the work with anyone, ever. You say yes. You expected to feel something crossing that line. What you actually feel is relief. That's the part nobody tells you about. The relief. Your mother's treatment starts on a Monday, exactly as promised. You visit her that Wednesday. She looks exhausted, but alive, more alive than she's looked in 8 months. She holds your hand and tells you her prayers were answered. You don't correct her. You drink the tea she makes and listen to her talk about the nurse who reminds her of your aunt. And the whole time you're thinking about the Mitsubishi financial penetration. Test sitting half-finished on your encrypted drive. You tell yourself it's temporary. You tell yourself you'll find a way out once she's stable. You tell yourself that for longer than you should. The work itself is clean in those early months. Corporate targets. A construction conglomerate competing with an organization-backed contractor on a 4.7 billion government tender. A pharmaceutical firm whose R&D pipeline Mori wants intelligence on before deciding whether to invest. You breach 23 networks in the first 4 months. You extract data worth, conservatively, 600 million on the open market, trade secrets, client lists, proprietary formulas that companies spent years building. You move through their systems in silence, leaving nothing. Your handler, a man named Kuroda who wears the same gray suit every meeting, delivers your payment in cash inside a Lawson convenience store bag, 650,000 per month, plus bonuses. That sometimes double that figure. He slides it across the table. You take it home and put it in a fireproof safe hidden behind drywall in the bedroom closet. You don't ask what they do with the data. You don't want to know. You tell yourself that knowing would make it harder, and harder doesn't serve anyone right now. In month 7, they give you a different kind of target. A senior executive at a logistics firm, clean record, family man, coached his son's Little League team on weekends. You spend 3 weeks inside his personal accounts. His work email. His private Gmail, a cloud backup he thought was deleted. The technical work takes 11 days. The 11 days after that you spend reading his life. Because understanding the target's behavior patterns is part of building persistent access, that's what you tell yourself. He's clean on the surface. Deeper, in a folder labeled tax documents inside a subfolder with no name, you find 6 years of correspondence with a woman in Osaka. Everything documented. Dates, hotels, photographs he should have deleted. You compile the file. You deliver it to Kuroda. You don't ask what it's for. 2 weeks later, the logistics firm withdraws its competing bid on a port development contract in Yokohama. The organization's preferred contractor wins. You piece it together from the business news. You file it somewhere it can't touch your resolve. That's what you do with things that can't be undone. You file them, compress them, push them below the layer of the work. That man didn't hurt you. He didn't know you existed. None of that changes anything. Year 2. They move you into a dedicated facility, a floor inside a building on Roppongi's western edge, registered to a consulting firm that has no clients and no website. Your workspace has 12 million in hardware, redundant encrypted connections routing through servers in 4 countries, and a technical budget Kuroda describes as sufficient. You have no co-workers on your floor. Nobody comes unless you request something. You work 14-hour days because the work fills the space, and the space is the only safe place the work doesn't follow you. Your former university roommate calls in October. He's getting married. He wants you at the wedding. You say you'll try. You don't go. You send a gift, an expensive one, because money is the only language you have now for the things you can't say in person. He stops calling after that. Not immediately. Gradually. The way people stop calling when the person on the other end keeps being somewhere else. You don't blame him. You wouldn't call you either. Year 3 is when the floor disappears. Kuroda gives you a new target on a Thursday morning, the way he always does. A name. An institution. A deadline. This time the institution is the Tokyo Metropolitan Police Department's Organized Crime Division. They want to know what law enforcement knows. They want the names of undercover officers embedded in Sumiyoshi operations. They want to see investigation files before the investigators act on them. You spend 94 days getting inside. Phishing a network administrator through a fake internal IT portal you build to pixel-perfect accuracy. Harvesting credentials. Moving laterally through 17 internal systems over 6 weeks. Mapping architecture. Testing permissions. Never triggering the tripwires you've cataloged. The security is government grade, which means it's underfunded, and 3 patch cycles behind where it should be. You find the gaps the way you always find them. Patiently, methodically, with the specific focus that has always been your best skill and is now your most dangerous one. You pull the files. Investigation timelines. Surveillance logs. The full roster of undercover personnel embedded in Sumiyoshi operations. 11 names, 11 cover identities, 11 real addresses cross-referenced, with operational deployment histories. You deliver the file on a Friday. Nobody explains what will be done with it. Nobody explains anything. That's the nature of the work. On the following Tuesday, a detective, Hiroaki Sato, 34 years old, 11-year department veteran and father of 2 daughters aged 6 and 8, is found in his apartment in Kita Ward. His service weapon. A note. The official version says depression, overwork, a personal crisis nobody saw coming. You know exactly what the file you delivered contained. You know his cover name, his real name, his address. You know the timeline. The math isn't complicated. Nobody talks about this part. There is no record connecting you to that room in Kita Ward. There never will be. But you know, and knowing lives in a place inside you that no encryption can protect, no proxy can reroute, no tool you've ever built can reach and clean. You expected to feel like a killer. What you actually feel is nothing, and the nothing is worse than anything you could have imagined, because it means something.